What if you merged two tier 0 decks together to make a even stronger tier 0 deck? Today I'm talking about a new card that some people figured out needs to be ran in Tearlaments on Master Duel, and it honestly takes the deck to a completely new level. If you still need a beautiful playmat, go to zerodamagegaming.com and use the code SOLEMN for a discount. So what sparked this? Basically, one of the best players in the world, Jesse Cotton, was playing a major Master Duel tournament yesterday, and so of course I checked it out. I've had Jesse on the channel actually when Tearlaments was at its peak power in the TCG, and we had a very in-depth discussion on all types of Tearlament tech and so forth. He topped and won so much with this deck, it was absolutely insane. So of course, now that Tear is in Master Duel, he had to go and destroy some people in some major tournaments. So yesterday he's streaming and I go check him out and I'm like, what is he doing? This is so weird. He starts summoning Zodiac monsters. And at first I'm like, okay, that's cute. But then I start thinking more about it. And I see how he uses these cards in his matchups and I'm just like mind blown. The chat was also mind blown. Of course, he ended up doing extremely well in this tournament. Now, if you don't know, Zodiac was actually basically tier 0 back when it came out. And so it's very funny that you can now put that tier 0 engine into another tier 0 deck being Ishizu tier, and suddenly you have an even better deck. But why is that? Let's check it out. So right here at the top, I have, you know, a combination of pretty interesting cards. Let's look at them. First of all, we have Necro Valley. Now, if you know or don't know, there are people on the ladder and in tournaments who are so sick of Tearlaments, they have started playing Necro Valley in their deck. What does it do? Negate any card effect that would move a card in the graveyard to a different place. Negate any card effect that changes types or attributes in the graveyard. So that last one doesn't really matter, but negating card effects that move a card from the graveyard to a different place, that sounds like all the Tearlament cards. So yes, you activate Necro Valley and Tearlaments just cannot play. If they went first and they had like a Perlerino Medora, okay, sure. But in general, you put down a Necro Valley, boom, they're gonna cry. And the one searchable heartbeat isn't necessarily gonna change that either. Then we have Dimensional Fissure. Any monster sent to the graveyard is banished instead. Once again, Tearlaments is not really a big fan of that. And finally, some people are still coping on this card. When this card is activated, special summon a Helios, but more importantly, while this card is face up on the field, any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead. So once again, this is another card to say fuck you to Tear. Now, people are playing a variety of decks where they can play Necro Valley and maybe Dimensional Fissure because they are so sick of the tier 0 format. Understandable, of course, but what can Tear do to stop this? And this is basically where these Zodiac cards come in. Because Zodiac Trident, which you can make by first making Chakanine out of 2 level 4s, and guess what? What is the one thing Tear can actually make extremely easily? Of course, it's rank 4s. They have the Ishizu engine and the Tear engine that both just spit out level 4s like it's nothing. So you make this one rank 4 Chakanine, cool. Then you put a Zodiac Borbao on top of that, cool. And then you put a Zodiac Trident on top of that, even cooler. And this is where things get really interesting. If we check out Trident's effect, it's a lot of blah blah blah. The most important thing here is once per turn, quick effect. You can detach one material from this card, then target one face-up card on the field, destroy it. This means all of these cute little floodgates that were designed to stop Tear can now be outed just with 2 level 4s, which is something, again, the deck can do very, very easily. So suddenly the best counter for Tear is not a counter anymore, just by running these cards. But more importantly, you can also put this card on top of your existing board. You know, if you have too many level 4 cards, sometimes you can make a Redoer, but sometimes that Redoer won't be great. Sometimes you can make a Biz Dweller, but maybe you already know the matchup and it won't be really doing much. You can make Bagushka, but if you already have another board, then you're also turning off that board, so you don't want to be doing that. So this is just another rank 4 form of interruption that then also just so happens to take out the worst matchups and the worst decks against your deck. Now you can also, of course, use this just in the mirror, because there's only one field spell, a single Perlerino, so why don't you just make a Trident, pop their Perlerino, and now you're super ahead in the game. But, that is not all either, because when you read Trident very well one more time, you will realize the final part of what makes this so crazy. Target one face-up card on the field, destroy it. It does not say opponent's field, it's anywhere on the field. So if you have a Tearlaments Merly, a Tearlaments Sharon, any kind of Tearlaments on your board, you can pop it with your own Trident to trigger its graveyard effect and start fusing again. On stream again, I saw Jesse pop his own Merly to make a new fusion. I saw him use it to pop stuff from the opponent. This card adds a whole new dimension to this deck, and I was just mind blown. So now that the secret's out, I think we're gonna see a lot of pros gradually switch to the Zodiac package in their extra deck, and we might eventually see the ladder also be filled with these cards. They are absolutely insane. Right after this video, I'm gonna craft my own because I really think this just adds a whole new dimension to Tearlaments that is extremely interesting. That is all for today. Hope you found this very interesting. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and if you still need a beautiful playmat, go to zerodamagegaming.com and use the code SOLEMN for a discount. I will see you soon. Ciao.